Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now it is Friday. Yes, the last edition of the dailies for this week again. You know how we do it right here in the Kunle Hamzat studio, where we get to talk about our great nation every Mondays to Fridays, starting from 6:30 a.m. till a few minutes before 8 a.m. Yes, that is the dailies transmitting live from the Kunle Hamzat studio right here at Akidibu 88.7 FM. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and yes, I'll be doing this with Maestro this morning once again. I hope you had a great week and you were able to achieve and smash quite a lot of your goals for the week. I'll be starting from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper right here, and then I'll be picking the stories concerning the minimum wage. Starting from the Daily Trust newspaper. Private sector demands concession as a Labour awaits a federal government's offer. On the front page of The Nation on the issue of minimum wage, governors won't pay above 70,000 naira. The writer to the story says Uzodimap panel to give report. Another one says federal government didn't offer 105,000 naira, says presidency. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, the news concerning the minimum wage and also the strike a few days ago, we have a news from the SGF saying the national grid shut down treasonable. And yes, the presidency denies 105,000 naira pay as Labour awaits Tinubu's offer. On the front page of Vanguard newspaper, on minimum wage talks, Labour gets restive as federal government plays a waiting game. Quite a lot of writers to that on the front page of Vanguard. One says Labour committed treason by shutting down national grid. No cause for alarm, that is coming from Wale and Bagudu. Technical committee to be set up on other things, that is coming from ministers. Moving on to other stories, and back to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Quite a sad one right here as bandits kill 7 policemen, 35 others in Zafara, Katsina. Two writers to the story says, review security strategy. Senate tells Tinubu. Tambuwal calls for state of emergency. That is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Over 9,000 terrorists killed, 9,562 fighters surrendered in 1 year. And that report is coming from military on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper. Federal government insists a subsidy gone. Atiku alleges a lack of transparency. 318 billion naira waivers, concessions affected our revenue. And that story is coming from customs. Moving on to the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. We have a story saying leaked fiscal policy document not authentic. Presidency affirms. That is on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. Kaduna's stolen money should be recovered, says Shehu Sani on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. Saudi bound and intending pilgrims held with 2.20 kilogram of hard drugs. That is on page 5. Sanwo-Olu gives 10 million naira to last best graduating student. That story is on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. The Punch newspaper says reps dump 740 billion naira misuse the Natural Resources Fund report. Page 27 of the Punch newspaper. Atiku demands probe as federal government denies fuel subsidy payment. Page 14. NGE SANs slam police over journalists on lawful detention. Page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Federal government gets $925 million lifeline as Naira trades 1,481 Naira per dollar. Motorists grown as flood overruns Lagos-Ibadan Expressway bridge. Others, that story is on page 5 of the Punch newspaper, and that is an after effect of the rain from yesterday. The stories, alongside others, are what we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Moving on to the Vanguard newspaper this morning, reps are moved to create a new state in Southeast as bill passes a first reading. On the issue of terrorism, that story on a new state is on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. Review strategies of security, that is coming from the Senate to the President. Rivers Ijo to INC, Wike gave more federal appointments to Ijaz. And also news coming from the CBN says the CBN will implement bold reforms that make economy works. And these stories are what we have to discuss this morning with Maestro, of course, in the studio. Good morning, Maestro.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
My pleasure.
I hope you had a great week.
Well, we thank God for His mercies.
Okay. We talked about a report yesterday saying that the federal government is still paying a subsidy on fuel. This morning, a news come out saying from presidency, saying whatever it is that we saw yesterday in the media was unapproved or something like it wasn't signed yet, and then we shouldn't believe everything we see in the media. Now they're coming to deny it that is not true. Fuel subsidy is still gone.
What you just told me now probably is not an outright denial. What you just told me is whatever was in the media yesterday was not yet approved.
Yes.
And I'm addressing what you just said now.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not yet approved, that's an aside. The reality is it came, approved or not, from the presidency that it's a process. Now, we did not have that in our consciousness before that statement was made. Therefore, we're dealing with that opacity, and it's not good. That's what I said yesterday. But after having said it's not good enough, that it's probably outrightly dishonest, then we started dealing with should it be like that, should it not be like that, and so on and so forth, which is another matter entirely. So what they need to do now is to come clean that, okay, this is how we've gone about subsidy removal. And on the table of that process, from 0 to 100, this is how far we've come. And so we will be aware of the figures, and people could wrap their minds around that and deal with that. And that's what I think we should do.
But in the story, Bayo Onuga said that we should disregard the two fiscal documents that came out yesterday, that was in circulation yesterday, saying that the president is still on the fact that subsidy is gone. And then later in that story, they still said none of the documents have been approved or finalized, and also saying something about policy making being an iterative process involving multiple drafts and discussions.
I'm not really interested in all these yeoman's job to say, okay, we have not approved it. The document was not perfected and so on. But there is a key part of that. And the key is this fuel subsidy removal is a process. Therefore, you're not at the destination. So let's explain that process. Where are we along the length of that process? That's my position.
Okay. And not because since the news came out, people have been going on and on about the fact that which one should we believe? You said it is gone, you said it is not gone, we shouldn't believe, and whatever.
Well, you see, people can go on, and I've told you too about people. Some people don't even know anything about all these things we are saying. They have a constant position to simply just criticize. Some people know, but they are deep into mischief. And so they will, somebody pointed something to me, posted it back to me yesterday to say, There's this guy on the Facebook who made a nice case of Maestro worked for Tinubu before in Lagos, so and they fought and he left, and now they've given him some money, so
Oh.
that's why, and all that nonsense. But you see, we have to also accommodate those ones. There is a lot of ignorance in the field. There's also a lot of mischief. And so we deal with the situation and move on from that situation so we could deal with a lot of issues. That's because if you get stuck with people who are just fantasizing and developing stories from thin air. I told you before I came here, they said as soon as I left my former place, of course I secured a job in Aso Rock already.
Hey.
So
This is Aso Rock.
So,
They shouldn't worry.
Isn't it beautiful that I've landed at Aso Rock and I have a job beside the president and all that nonsense? But it's all fantasy. We have to concentrate on these things. And they know from time that I'm very, very contextual about issues. I will face the context because I don't even like these things company. I know the solution to the problem of this country. And I say it almost every day. But the problem is you have the obedience who are still deep into the pains of their presidential election. And our tango then, which I probably will explain to you one of these days. And then on the other hand, you had the Oshimbaju, Christian arm, some of who are also deeply pained because of the tango we also had. And my part of this entire thing is always, this is how I see this thing playing out. Based on the history of this country. This is how it's going to play out. And they say it's not going to play out like that. But when it plays out like that, they feel bad. They feel like it's me who made it happen like that. And, that's silly, honestly. It's really silly that, this little me will be in the studio and then make a presidency happen. I think that's outrageous.
Okay.
But that's how they feel. We have to accommodate them.
All right, then. Let's talk about minimum wage issue, the tussle and the talks between the labor unions and the federal government. Right now, President Tinubu has received the cost implications from government's negotiation team. And according to Wale Edom, he said, in quote, there is no cause for alarm. But there is another news coming from governors saying governors won't pay above 70%. And because they said whatever
70%?
70,000 naira,
Okay.
sorry. They said whatever it is that we're hearing about, 100,000 naira, 105,000 naira, they cannot pay above 70,000 naira. And that is what they are holding on.
I told you that this thing is always tripartite. They are going to face the federal government. That's who they face squarely. Because, the federal government is... it's a hopeful target. Federal government, you have a number of workers there. You can fight for that margin. You can get it something close to what you want. But then you will now scale down and begin to face the state governments individually. And when you are done with that, you simply abandon the private sector. So at the end of the day, people like me who look at the whole thing from the onset, based on the things we understand about these engagements, these perennial requests, and we don't take it seriously. But some people must think you must take it seriously.
I mean,
but it's nonsensical. If you understand it, you won't take it seriously. The organized private sector, I told you, will be left in the lurch. In any case, the organized private sector is difficult to handle for labor. Labor who is about its welfareist agenda. An organized private sector that is looking for every kobo, justification to spend every kobo. So that staff there is already audited. So you cannot now, be fighting for that welfareist setting on the one hand, and on the other hand, be fighting for this very serious, strictly, audited OPS. And then you have state governments in between who earn differently. State governments earn differently. Some people, some of the states are super earners. They're high up there, like Lagos, like Akwa Ibom, and the rest of it. And then you have the middle earners, you know. And then you come to my state and the Ekiti, who are the least earners. So how do you fight that? You can't fight it. And that's why at the end of the day, all this tirade, all this effort is always concentrated on the federal government. Because you know you can't fight it. You can't come to Osun State to say you must pay what Lagos State is going to pay. You must pay what Akwa Ibom is going to pay. You can't. They all know that.
Well, we have labor unions in this state too. Can it be a situation whereby labor unions in each state get to fight for what they think their state is capable of doing?
That is what we lay pretenses at. Eventually, that's what we lay pretenses at, and that's what individual, labor leadership in the states would appear to be doing. But at the end of the day, people are in cahoots with state governments, and that's why you fight for that leadership. Everybody wants to be in the good book of the governor and so on. Because in any case, you know that you will soon return to your ordinary state from the point of being, the number one labor person who you can call a strike and get the attention of the governor here and there. Very soon your tenure expires and then you become an ordinary person. Another person is enjoying that position. And everybody knows this. Therefore, what should be done, what makes a lot of sense, is to look beyond this cap in hand requests. What can we do with the enormous potential of labor? Put it together.
You don't see it as power.
Well, it's power somewhere, but it's not in use. Do you see it in use? It's not in use. That's why the politicians are always knocking us around. But if you dedicate it to something that would ensure that, all these things will vanish, that's the right kind of fight. You'll find me there. I'll be there with labor to say, yes, let's go.
Okay.
But it's not going to happen soon because people are always looking out for their interests.
Okay, let's go pay some bills. When we're back, continue the conversation in the studio about the labor unions versus federal government on minimum wage. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
I wanna be as strong as Captain Amazing. I need amazing day cereal, that is what I'll be. I've got strong bones, sharp eyes. I'm an amazing day, so that's right. I'm an amazing day cereal, that is who I am.
Now tell me what you need.
Amazing day cereal.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Cereal. Nurture them for the future.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún, yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
My baby is 6 months old.
Oh my! 6 months old? Wow!
Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam from 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anrin Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pop. So many ways to pop it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every bowl, everyone pops it their way. So, how do you pop it?
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is the jollof ready?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
You're welcome back. This is still the dailies right here in the Kule Amzat studio. Of course, I Gidigo 88.7 FM. Maestro, it seems they talk about shutting down national grid is not going to come off very soon, as we have the Senate again coming out to say what the labor unions did was treasonable. And so
I believe that we should move past that. You know, it has happened.
Mm-hmm.
What I think should be is that it doesn't ever happen again. And it's not totally the fault of labor, you know, because sometimes if you could take something, you simply take it, which in itself is not smart. But the point is, why wouldn't you secure resources like that? Why wouldn't you secure resources like that? Why would you allow just anybody to move in and then shut down national grid? So I think the federal government slacked in that regard. What you ensure is nobody, and you know, should be able to do that. That's not part of a strike action. Apart from that, nobody should also be able to coerce, to force anybody to be part of what they don't want to be part of. So, yes, we are all members, but if you're going on strike and I don't feel like, so leave me alone. If you have other means of making sure I participate, good. But laying your hands on me, supposing you lay your hands on me and I lay a heavier hand on you in return, you know, in a democratic setting, what then is going to happen? So that has to be stamped out. They have to just forget about that. It's really dumb. You know, to be forcing people to come along with you.
Okay, and the Senate is coming out to say now, should it be more of talks or whatever it is they want to do, they should do, since it happened already?
Yeah, I think we should move beyond that. What they should concentrate on is how much they now want to pay. Let's have a figure so we can deal with that. There are so many things that this kind of distraction affect. You see, we should be talking about the refineries that are not functioning yet. Yes, because things are not, you know, nice. You have, look, the foreign exchange is inching up again. So we're not just talking about 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We're now talking about close to 1.5. So now, could you now blame people who retained old prices? That's what we were saying the other time. That there's a reason why these people were not bringing down the cost of their goods. Yes, the thing climbed down from 1.9 to, at some point, 1,100. And we were quite happy. And we were, you know, upon people to quickly bring down their prices, while some of these goods are still on the high seas and so on and so forth. So they are justified now. So I think these are the things that they should be attending to right now, not national grid. It has happened, and so on.
And so we should move past that. We have from the Senate again asking the president to review and also evaluate security strategies that we currently use, among which is stopping negotiation with bandits.
I have never believed in negotiating with bandits. I think it's a sheer waste of time. And if, for instance, people who are closer to the kitchen, if they believe that there should be such negotiations, I think it should be kept away from public view. They should do whatever negotiations they want to do far away from our consciousness. The reason I say that, all of the time is we've seen a lot of negotiations with bandits, with terrorists, and it's come to naught. Nothing has. You will finish negotiating with them now, and they will go and do worse. They will return to do worse. So I think what the bandits use the negotiation for is they use it to fool you, to disarm you, to make you feel that, make you feel comfortable while they know they are going to do you in eventually. So we've seen this a lot of times. The governor, then governor of Katsina State, was former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Bello Masari. Had such negotiations with them, it fell flat. It felt so bad that, they kept on, doing all these things, and the man cried openly. The governor was sitting governor of Katsina then. It happened in Zamfara. Then Zamfara governor had this kind of negotiation with them. They dumped it and continued doing what they were doing. If you ask him today now, he will tell you never again. So they don't respect any kind of agreements. They don't. So I don't know why people still insist on going on to be doing these negotiations with them. They do not respect it. And as soon as it is convenient for them to make use of that tactics, they will use it against you.
Okay, yesterday we also had a Ningi saying something, but before then, let's do it.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
Okay, we had a Ningi saying that also accusing security agencies of compromise. It specifically tasked the President Tinubu to seize the initiative on timeline for his service chiefs to combat insecurity, saying we really need to do better when it comes to what security agencies are doing, particularly in the northwest and also the north central, because of the insecurity going on, and especially on farmlands. We need to do something about that. That is what is coming from Ninki yesterday. All were directed towards the presidency, saying there have been a lot of talks on the floor of the House, saying recommendations upon recommendations. Let's do this, let's do that. But it is still the same thing.
I don't know. Ningi has always been there. he just
got back.
He just got back. So he's registering his displeasure in another way, of course, because you have to understand these things too. But the truth is that we still have a considerable measure of insecurity in this country. And yes, it's the responsibility of the federal government, and the buck stops on the president's table. I understand all that. But the problem here is these same people are going to be up in arms immediately they hear the final solution. And part of the final solution is to ensure that you have ranches all over this country. So you don't have the opportunity to drive cattle across wide expanses, especially farmlands, anywhere. And the thing about this cattle herding is that there are people, very innocent cattle herders, who are out there doing their business, and they've been doing their businesses for God knows how long. But the moment these people who mobilize crime and criminality come with their own herds, it becomes a problem. They smuggle arms and ammunition with herds, and these people, the Ningis of this world, they know all this more than us. But so when you now talk about ranching, they say no. people have to be able to move everywhere they want to. Who are these people? They don't even know them. They just, know that there is ethnic affiliations, ethnic connections, and so they defend that. Because in defending that situation, they also stabilize their own political relevance and whatever it gives them. So it's enlightened self-interest against national interest, ultimately. And these are some of the things that we need to understand when people talk and you listen to what's not being said. And that's very important in this country. You listen more to what's not being said than what is said. And this thing also about the federal government, you never see what precise strategy we are even employing against terrorists today and bandits today. You don't know. But I understand a little bit of that you don't put your security system on the newsstand. Yes, I understand that. But we should at least feel the effect. And honestly, it has doused somewhat. It's not the same thing as the tail end of the Jonathan administration.
Oh, really?
It's not the same thing as, right through the Buhari administration until the tail end of it. It's not the same thing. It really is not the same thing. But we still have a considerable measure of insecurity in this country.
Okay.
And that has to be dealt with.
So it seems security, insurgencies, and what have you, it has actually reduced.
It's doused.
Doused.
That's my word.
Okay, then. The reason is coming from the president is telling international financiers that they should consider more strategic investment in agric in Nigeria. But what is it that we are doing locally? I mean, for ourselves in the agricultural sector, are we doing enough for us to have international financiers come in to say, oh, okay, let's do more?
The first thing that I'm thinking as soon as I hear that, I think a lot of things. But the first thing I hear is, where are they going, to put that money, and they will be safe from the insecurity that we are talking about. That's very important. If somebody is bringing in about $10 billion to invest in some kind of plantation, whether it is palm or soy or whatever it is, you're already thinking about cattle headers. You're already thinking about terrorists and a lot of other things that you begin to think about immediately. So government has to be able to say that will not happen. But I don't know if government could sincerely say that will not happen. And so you have to invest heavily again in security. And so when you look at Ghana, you look at some other, places where you could put your $10 billion and you wouldn't have to spend that much on security. I think your choice might be different. That's number one. The other thing is, what's the plan? We can't just ask people, just bring in your money, come do whatever you like. What is the plan? There has to be a plan. What would we rather that people, came in to invest in that much? I keep looking at what our two foremost trading partners in the world, that is India and China. I keep looking at what they would want from here, what they are importing from Nigeria, what they are taking away from Nigeria, what their economy needs massively. And there are a lot of such agri items. And we need to look at something like that and create a plan around it. This is something that even state governments could do. Imagine if 36 state governments are seriously attracting such funds, and we have the land, we have a lot of resource, we have the the people who would work on these farms and so on and so forth, but we are not seriously heading in that direction yet. That's why we're crying that one atarodo is 50 naira. one, if it's big, it's 100 naira. They count it like that now. Rodo. Right?
Yes.
So all this cayenne, they are even out of reach. So tomatoes is crazy.
And also
because we do not have serious plans in agriculture. That's why we are talking like this. All these things, they don't have to be internally, exported and imported within Nigeria, because each of the states could just do these things. So we would then have a lot to eat at very low prices, and a lot more left to export. But people come and say they have this funny phrase: government has no business in business, and I think it's very ridiculous, because we did not generate that phrase, and we shouldn't be embracing it in our state, in our situation. Some of these things are not eternally valid. You have to apply them to your situation and then see if it applies to you or it doesn't. Because some of the time, our eggheads, they simply keep on throwing these phrases around. And the moment they throw it out there, they are prepared to defend it with everything they have.
Okay, now, so we still need to do more by ourselves before we start calling other people.
We have a plan.
Come.
Have a plan. So they can fall within the scope of that plan. That's what I'm saying, and I don't see that sincerely. I don't see it.
Okay, then there is still at the floor of the House, but this is the House of Representatives. Yesterday, they passed through forced reading a bill for the creation of a new state in the southeastern region known as the Orlu State, ORLU. I hope I'm pronouncing
Orlu,
that.
yes.
Yeah, that's right, Orlu. So we're going to, if this goes through the second reading and all that, we'll be having a new state.
No, not so fast.
Not so fast.
The House of Representatives alone will not be able to create a state. It takes a lot to create a state.
Okay.
You finish there and then it goes to Senate. Before it goes, you have to, I think, there are a lot of things even outside the National Assembly that it entails. If it's the same, guidelines that you have in the Constitution for creating local governments, it takes a lot. So I don't believe that this is going to end up anywhere. I think it's going to be abandoned somewhere along the line. And most of the things I tell you, I go back in time to get my guide and examples. One, if it sails, if it happens, I'll be the most surprised person to see a civilian regime create a state, because as soon as that happens, you are going to have, serious pressure on that system to have more states.
Has it not happened before?
And no, it's never happened before. All the states that we've created in our life in this country are created by military fiat. Not one.
It doesn't seem as if there's going to be a change.
No, it's not likely, and I'll tell you why shortly. When this president was governor of Lagos State, there's a very, very crazy story about Lagos and Kano, who used to have just about the same number of local governments before. And then the military created Jigawa State out of Kano State. And now, between Kano State and Jigawa State that was created from within Kano, I think it must be, we must be talking about over 40 local governments there now, between the two. But Lagos State, that was about the same number of local governments with Kano before, remained with, I think, 20-something. So, when he was governor, he created, he embarked on creating more local governments for Lagos State. That's how daring he's always been. And everybody was looking at him, and he was, taking out the constitutional guidelines one by one And he finished everything according to the constitution, and so bumped up Lagos State local governments to about 57. And then sent the document to the National Assembly for ratification. That's what the constitution says. The moment you run through all those processes, and do you know the English that they used in the National Assembly to arrest that document till today? From somewhere before 2007 till date, that document is in the National Assembly. They say it's lying there inchoate. That's the English. Inchoate. And so that's local government. So you now have LCDAs. The LCDAs are functioning, but outside the scope of the Constitution. And so the Constitution does not reckon with your LCDAs. That's your working arrangement inside your state. But we had a lot of governments across the country, especially in the southern part of the country, who have since copied developing LCDAs. So everything is lying in Kuwait. If you could not create local governments, how would you be able to create states? Especially in the southeast, which the entirety of the southeast will fit into, maybe a couple of states in the north.
They're supposed to emerge from Imo, Abia, and Anambra state.
People want Ibadan state. People want Ijebu Ode, Ijebu state. People want a lot of people, even my place. We want Ijesha state. Everybody is looking for state, but when you look at a place like Ibadan, if all it took was just the sheer size, you will have Ibadan state before night falls today, because this city is big, but it takes much more than that. And then I don't even look favorably at requesting states, because the ones that we have right now, we are saying these states are not viable. Many of them not viable. When you look at the allocation and you look at the IGR and you look at the responsibilities of the state, they say only about 4 states are viable in this country. Yet you want to make more.
Out of 36, yes. Only 4 are viable.
And you want to make more.
Okay, let's go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll continue the conversation in the studio with the question of if, let's say if we have another state, what do you think will be the implication of this for other states or also on the federal government concerning allocation and all that? When we're back, we'll discuss that fully. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vexo. Which teeth you want use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. You know they worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan, ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà inú ẹ̀ ṣàn tó?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo. No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
My baby is 6 months old.
Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is the jollof ready?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma. Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no lie relaxer kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I know deal.
You not even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well well. Simply time. Go buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
Ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà, ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́. Oṣù mẹ́fà, ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́.
Ó ti yẹ pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà nìyẹn. Ọmọ ò máa ń pẹ́ dàgbà o. Báyìí o, ọmọ rẹ ti wá nílò ju omi ọyàn nìkan lọ o. Àkókò ti tó láti máa fún un ní oúnjẹ fífọ́. Ní àfikún sí ọyàn, rí i dájú pé àwọn oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ ní ó kéré tán ọ̀kan lára àwọn oúnjẹ àfọ́pọ̀ márùn-ún wọ̀nyí: ẹyin, ẹja tàbí ẹran, èso àti ewébẹ̀, epo tàbí òróró, ẹ̀wà, ẹ̀pà tàbí sóyà, ìrẹsì, ọ̀dùnkún, àgbàdo tàbí iṣu. Ọmọ rẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oṣù mẹ́fà nílò omi ọyàn àtàwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlera. Máa fún wọn lọ́yàn títí yóò fi pé ọmọ ọdún 2 àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ Anrin, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Akidigbo 88.7 FM.
Okay, we're back. Maestro, let us say if, just in our widest dreams, let's say this state gets created, what do you think would be the implication on other states and Nigeria as a whole?
I just hinted you. If, for any reason, it scales, and this democratic experience shows the capacity to create state, I think before this year runs out, you probably have, 36 times 2 states in Nigeria.
Because almost everybody will want.
No, people have gone beyond even this one before. So they are probably even just looking and crossing their fingers now, waiting if that will happen. But like I told you, I doubt very much if it's going to happen. I don't see it happening anytime soon, unless, of course, everybody is in on this, and they just want this to be the one they open the door with, and as soon as it opens, of course,
everyone else.
There's no stopping anybody again from asking, and I don't think that will serve us eventually. I don't think so.
Okay, then let us move completely away from that. Right now, we have a story saying that Nigerian primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions may soon have a new curricula following the adoption of a motion yesterday, still at the House of Rep, saying that we should have a review of the Nigerian curriculum for primary and secondary schools in line with the current global market needs and contemporary realities. Saying the one we have before is almost obsolete and is not helping people. Rather, we have that is making us have quite a lot of job seekers than people who would see opportunities and move on from that.
I buy that a lot, and we've also talked about that. That what we are actually learning is according to what the colonial masters laid out for us.
Since then?
Yes, we've had some evolution here, but we've never addressed that fact. And it's a very cold fact. The point is, they brought the kind of education they brought here for administrative purposes. Initially, it's supposed to be the Ichioku kind of education. I don't know if you know Ichioku. Ichioku is the one who interprets, the local language to the district officer who is white, the DO.
Okay.
And so, for clerical duties and so on, this is the kind of thing. It's not really for us to, but it's not the kind of education that obtains in
just for the person to understand them and
in
relay
his own
the
country.
message.
It has a different kind of system. So, this is not to say we are not brilliant or we are not at par and so on. We could. And that is why you find that when Africans go to places like Europe and the United States and so on, we excel. You find, Nigerians and other Africans in aeronautics, if you like, rockets, if you like, whatever, highly advanced medicine, sciences, and so on. But the problem is to now bring, to create that kind of education system at home. And we've not been able to do that because it entails a lot of things. We have to look at what we are doing right now and throw a lot of them away because they are good only in conditioning us to go looking for where we could situate in the white man's world. But we'll have our own world to take care of. And, sometime in the past, you studied only to go and apply for jobs, not to direct you towards innovation. You don't invent stuff. You simply... but they have these different columns. They know where they get their most brilliant academics who are not operating what they're simply good. And they have their inventing systems. And they have those who will go and do their administrative things. And education, prepares everybody for these things. But where do we prepare for, people to invent here? Unless you're just gifted. Unless you have that kind of will to head in that direction. So there are a lot of things that I agree with that person that we need to recreate our education system. It's not even about funding it and so on yet. We have problems there. But
even before getting there yet.
But I believe it's wrong-headed right now. But because we have been able, our forebears have been able to do well despite all the encumbrances. We started believing that's how it should be. You just have, great guys who went ahead of us, and despite all the obstacles and everything, they were able to excel and win Nobel prizes and win prizes around the world and become emeritus professor in the face of the white man and everybody else. But they went through crucibles. Like I tell people, the exam that we sit here, our exams are designed to actually fail us. So you just must succeed despite that fact. So you work against that scheme to fail. Because when you look at what they are doing now and what obtains in that other world, you've already passed before the final exams because you have term papers which will score you high. You have all this small. So before the exams come, you already have 40%. So the remaining 60%, won't you get it? Won't you get 10% in exams?
At least.
So we need to truly recreate our education system.
Okay. We have the Nobel laureate, of course, Professor Wole Soyinka, saying that politics will never serve the people if not based on ethical foundation and the desire to work for truth and justice. And Maestro, all the news we've been seeing from Monday till Friday,
Yes.
does it look like we are doing something based on an ethical foundation and the desire to work for truth and justice?
Well, that's his position.
Mm.
He knows why he's saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because almost the entire story of this country has played out, before him. So for me, I'm not expecting any ethical thing from politics. Apart from the dialectics, there is nothing ethical about politics. So if you're running through dialectics, okay, you might see how you have to have certain moral standards in order to be able to serve in positions of leadership.
Moral
You're
standards.
talking about the philosopher kings and so on. But I think politics it tilts more towards Machiavelli. If you have this thing called this tiny book called The Prince, Machiavelli, Niccolo. That's where I think politics tilts towards that much more than godliness and the ethics. That's the truth. But he knows why he's saying that.
He knows why he's saying that. So, does it seem like we can get anything? It doesn't seem like we can get anything like truth and justice from the politicians of today.
Do we even want it?
Do we not?
Do we want the truth? It's not for fun that our forefathers say, "Oloto ilu lo shika ilu." The people you even want to serve, they spin stories around you, and at some point you look at. Many people look at the situation and say, "What's the problem with this? Let me go and even collect the money and forget about all this nonsense." And many people have done that. They simply got tired at some point and moved on with their lives. But I'm not preaching that. I think if people have decided to walk the right path in their lives, I think they should stay there. Because you are not doing it because of the whats, You're doing it because you resolved to do it. I left, let me give you an instance. I left the TVC, when I left based on, my own values. I'm not going to tell the story here because the people who are requesting it, they're not worth it. So I won't tell the story. But I left based on integrity. And the money I was earning then, let me shock you. The money I was earning when I was with TVC, that's 2010, 11 going to 12, 2010, 2011, was the money I earned for another 8 years. Do you understand? So it's not about the money. It's not about the money. The money was good enough for me to sit down there, do everything I could to sit down there, and then be simply building houses and buying stuff. But I left because my value system told me I should leave. And I don't want to indict anybody. I don't want to, talk about anybody. And I left. So for this, little people to come and be spinning stories. And I never worked for this president. I worked with TVC. I wasn't working for him. There's a structure.
And that's two different things.
There are two different things, but, ignorance will not be able to support that.
Okay, we have the story, something like this story has been coming in for the past few weeks now about journalists on lawful detention and all that. And another news again is saying that a journalist whose name is Precious Eze was picked up by policemen at his Lagos home on May 27. His arrest, according to a statement by the journalist's colleagues, were allegedly instigated by a complaint from a prominent businessman and politician.
Well, I don't know if they are going to keep hiding the names of prominent businessmen and politicians. They need to come clean. That's the number one thing they need to do. Mention names, write your report. Let's be able to, let's see where we are going to be concentrating on. Then the other thing is, who is this journalist and what stable does it belong to? Because everybody is a journalist today. And when you go and you see one online radio or online TV,
it's a publisher of a news platform.
Yeah, so news platform. So you begin to see, well, everybody is a journalist today. And I think the first, place they should call on is you have bodies that you're supposed to, you can go to the NUJ. For instance,
this was under the umbrella of the Society of Digital Newspaper Owners of Nigeria,
which I don't know. I've never met that before. I don't know what it's about. And so maybe that's where they need to, they need to go and, because it might be some bedroom journalists who have phone and who are pressing stuff. It's possible. And when you're talking about online digital this thing and so on, we know that some of them are very prominent, and they have substance. You could even they have trails, like Premium Times, for instance. That's big. Everybody knows Premium Times, but down the line, the trail begins to disappear, and it's important that we separate the wheat from the chaff. I cannot go into this one without knowing what actually happened. With you simply throwing something like a prominent businessman and politician was behind this. So what did he do? What was he alleged to have done?
They said all what they did, they got to know that he was arrested after 1 week. And then when they went there trying to secure his bail, his release on bail, everything proved abortive. And also they said it is quite unconstitutional because he has been there for more than 24 hours and all that.
That makes sense.
Talking about.
That makes sense. And what they should do is to get a lawyer. That's what lawyers do. A lawyer would move in. You see, some of these things that we come and put at the public space to be seeking sentiments, these things are not necessary. Get a good lawyer to go to the court to say this is what the police is doing. And then if the system fails, it wouldn't fail in court. If it fails in court, then we will know that we need to wake up and then do something about it. Because in truth, whether it's full baked or half baked journalist, you still have to do right by human beings under a constitution, and he shouldn't be in custody for more than a period of time, unless the court gives you the go-ahead to keep him further.
All right, then, let's allow people join the conversation in the studio this morning with 0704 1001887, 0704 1001887, or +234 704 708 Maestro, let me just do this. What should I call it now? The studio manager is Googling you. Okay, before we go, before we allow the people to join the conversation, let's listen to this.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
Okay, we're back at 0704 1001 887, 0704 1001 887, or +234 704 708 873. And yes, we would start from reading the comments on our Facebook page right now at Agidigbo 887. You can also go there to drop your comment and let us know whatever it is you feel about the stories we've been discussing in the studio. Picking it up from the comment right here on the front page, the comment on our Facebook page, and this one is coming from Imafoje Peter, saying on the issue of minimum wage, federal government should come up with a reasonable amount. Pensioners should also be considered. Some pensioners are collecting less than 30,000 naira monthly. Happy weekend to all of us. Happy weekend to you too. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that call. From Adebayo Job, instead of having additional states, it will be better if this House of Rep members push a bill forward that will return us to regional government. What do you think about that, Maestro? Regional government instead of...
Yes, that's the meaning of restructuring.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Tell your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. And yes, there is a story this morning. Rashid and Elka's comment will make us talk about the story. Internally displaced people, IDPs, record at least 200 babies monthly. Maestro.
What?
Yes, that is what you said. Internally displaced persons, IDPs, record at least 200 babies monthly.
That's no longer
every month.
That's no longer an IDP.
A nation.
That's more than an IDP now because they are very busy doing some things there.
But then, what is the implication of this?
I don't think that's right. I don't think it is right because if you are now going to separate male from the females, do whatever you need to do because how do you sustain that? How do you go about sustaining that?
Every month.
So, but we need to break down the that report. It might not be absolutely true.
But if it is,
you're generating 200 every month, you quickly create a country.
A whole other one.
Yeah.
Shalajo says Atiku and many are speaking the truth. It is not about hatred. Nigerians have already put their meat in the mouth of a cat. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Say your name and where you're calling from.
I'm coming from Alugu.
Okay, sir, your contribution.
I want to talk for Imam.
You want to what?
Imam.
Okay, Magirigwe FM's Imam is currently at the mosque. Yes, so you come down straight here to the mosque, Agirigwe FM's mosque, and you get to see the Imam and talk to him. Thank you. Afiz Abidemi says on the issue of reps asking federal government to review school curriculum, honestly, it has been long overdue. In as much as we can change our national anthem, what will stop the federal government to review curriculum in our school? Let the curriculum include compulsory learning of a skill from secondary school level to university level, alongside whatever outdated academic theories you want to cram into their brain. This will save our youth from joblessness after graduation. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, tell your name and where you're calling from.
Tijani Azan is my name. I'm calling from Bolowi.
Okay, your contribution, sir.
I want to thank MAESTRO for his analysis. I think he always says it's the nail on the head as regards issues in this country. So on the issue of education, so I think these are things that has been proposed. I think it has been long overdue. You know, but my fear is that with politics allow it to work. You know, just that person that is raising the motion is children or child. And they are determining the public schools that our students are attending. So they are also the potential children. They are sent to where they are paying millions. So not the whatever for the implementation. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. More comments. This one from Comrade Ayueniola says Atiku knows what he is talking about. He is a product of presidency and have an inside information. Anybody expecting the truth from Tinubu-led government is wasting his time. He has the way of doing things as he did in Lagos. Yet the way is only to bring. Okay.
You see, the point about these things that we carry on with is that look, the people talk about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as if he's never been in government before. He's been in government before at the level of vice president. And at that time, I was talking yesterday and it appeared that, I'm saying something against Obasanjo, Atiku and so on. It's not true. What I'm saying is I'm separating, their past and what they stand for from the current issues. You cannot leave that. Look, let me tell you something. I was there. Chief Obasanjo, as president of this country, went somewhere at an event. And I think the event was over. He was moving on. And somebody shouted in the crowd, Baba Ebin Pawao. As far back as that time, he shouted, Baba Ebin Pawao. What did the president tell him? Olong wa yue.
Yeah.
So it tells you that these things, it's a cycle. But some people think, it's a fresh moment. It's not a fresh moment. It's a cycle. And for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, you think there's a distance between him and this president. They are very tight business partners. Yes, they made money together. And they functioned together politically. And Atiku will tell you that I saved him from being taken out as Lagos State governor while I took the rest of the Southwest states away.
Hello.
You want to tell me stories?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I'm Moses Olaliko from Alaki area.
Okay, sir, your contribution.
You see, for me, all this what our government doing, only God can make it resorted well. The important thing for them is what we are buying and selling. You will see it will be resorted to the same thing because the price of everything is high every day. That's why you see people shouting hunger. Then you look what is the problem. Maybe we should restructure. Look what they have in northern area, what we have in western area here. What makes everything costly? That's the major problem. Any amount they are paid to workers, it will result to the same problem. May God bless us.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. For your contribution.
That is intelligence. It's going to be eaten up. So what's the whole effort about?
All right, let's go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll continue the conversation, and you get to call in or send your comment on our Facebook page. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, ẹ fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan, ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà inú ẹ̀ ṣàn tó?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pop. So many ways to pop it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pop in every gulp. Everyone pops it their way. So, how do you pop it?
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
We can protect your car, your savings.
Let's not make it boring. Let's make insurance a lifestyle. If you've ever wished your insurance offered you more, then you're in good hands with Hares Insurance Group. In addition to our extensive insurance coverage, you can also enjoy free benefits such as networking opportunities, up to 10% discount on hotels, gyms, spas, and your favorite stores, tickets to exclusive events, and free resources to plan your future. So, next time someone asks you, what does your insurance company give you, sir? Your answer should be with Hess Insurance Group. Definitely much more than insurance.
To enjoy all these, sign up on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com. That is HEIRS. Hares Insurance Group. Simple life is here.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
From Bodija, largest one Fatai.
Okay, sir. Your contribution, sir.
I really appreciate Mr. Pedro for analyzing some of the issues on the paper.
Did you say Pedro?
Okay.
Maestro.
I have a lot of names. Don't worry, go on.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're still on.
As far as the issue of the increment in the wages is concerned, in this country, if we do not say they should not increase the wages of the salaries of the workers, but the government should take in consideration the production of the goods and services within the country. If this is not commensurate with the increment in the wages, it is going to lead to inflation. And we are going to the same level as in particular. The price of goods and services is definitely going to increase, and the standard of living is going to remain the same or reduce. So now the government should embark on the production of goods and services, and then find the solution to the issue of the insecurity in the part of the country. You know, most of the part of the country now, they are not secured. See the issue of Zamfara today. About 7 policemen were killed, and 42 people were killed at the same time. Most of those people that were killed, they are farmers. Are they going to farm? They will not go. So definitely, this country is in shambles. The government should look at the issue of the security first. They should find the solution to the security of the issue of the security in the country.
Okay.
And let it so that the increment of the production of goods and services will increase.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution this morning. On our Facebook page, a comment from Tokwe Omoluyi says, on minimum wage, NLC should be considerate in the negotiation and not force government to pay what will lead to the sacking of workers. Olaliri Bayonle Jalil says, having additional states is not the solution. It will be better if this House of Reps members push a bill forward that would return us to regional government and allow our system to work.
Or at least zonal, if we are too far away from regions. No?
Okay, 0704 1001 887. 0704 1001 887. Or plus 234 7004. Sorry, plus 234 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call to join in the conversation this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, my your name and where you're calling from. Okay, that doesn't seem like a call for the dailies. Adexi on the Facebook page is saying, please, there is serious hunger in Nigeria now. The analysts cannot equate Obasanjo time to Tinubu now, where the level is unprecedented and the hunger now deliberately created by the president.
There's no equating if you're listening well, we talked about a cycle. And you see, the problem sometimes is with the listening and understanding. We are not equating. You can't equate two different regimes. But there's a cycle. And that cycle says everything we've been doing or experiencing it's been happening steadily. It happened during the Obasanjo administration that Naira was falling to the dollar. If you are conscious of that. It happened that we had few price increases right through, all these regimes. I mean, we've stated all these things before. So it is greater. It's something you have to do more than just feel it. You have to know it.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost our call.
You have to know it. That it's been inching up forever. That is when you come to a different realization.
All right. Maestro, your pattern shot for this week. Your pattern shots for the week.
Let's listen more. Let's focus more. And let's address the contexts more.
Okay.
That's what I think we should do. The other thing is Eja pade njo Sunday lago meje.
Away from all of that.
Eja pade lago meje lálẹ́ Sunday fún ìgbésí ayé. Ìyẹn Yorùbá la máa sọ ngba yẹn.
We understand each other better. All right, now it's about time we leave the studio for this week. Okay, the dailies. We are moving on till next week. We'll see ourselves next week, Monday, again to talk better about our great nation. So let us just ensure to drop all our emotional attachments and what have you and talk about the issues, because these things, they actually do concern us. And it will be better if we separate it from personal differences and talk on the real issue. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and I'll see you on Monday. Again, have a nice weekend.
88.7 FM.